Arizona buyers. I am going to talk about today the top 5 contingencies in our Arizona contract that are going to help protect your earnest money. Hi, I'm Jen Wehner, team leader of the Wehner Group, brokered by eXp Realty. So let's dive in. Now, the number one contingency, you probably know it, and most agents know it too, is the inspection contingency. So in our standard contract, it's 10 days. However, you can negotiate a longer time. Say if you're having to fly in, or maybe you're going to need extra contractors there, it's not uncommon to sometimes have a 15-day inspection period. But in that inspection period, you can cancel for any reason that you find value or that it doesn't settle right. One time I had a buyer that canceled because the neighbor's dog was barking incessantly. I had another time that the buyer canceled because the traffic, he actually went at 5 o'clock and drove in traffic to his workplace. And he's like, I love this home, but I can't handle the traffic. Maybe you just don't like, maybe there's sex offenders in the neighborhood, or maybe it's not the right school district. We have a form called the buyer advisory, and it goes through everything you could possibly think about. But of course, the home inspection is really important. And if you do ask for repairs and the seller's not willing to do them, you have an out. But even if you don't get to that stage, that inspection period is there for you to look at anything and everything that is important to you. And if there is something that is going to break the deal for you, you're allowed to cancel the contract and get your earnest money back. The second one is the appraisal contingency. And what that means is if the home does not appraise for the price that you have, your contract price, you have an options. So one option is you can just come up with the difference. The second option is the seller can drop the price. I find the more common option is that you find some middle ground. But hey, if the appraisal came in low and it just doesn't sit well with you, you can cancel the contract and get your earnest money back. The third contingency is the financing contingency. So what that is, it runs all the way up until close of escrow. So if you cannot qualify for the home, as long as you've given a good faith estimate and provided the lender all the documents they needed, then you can essentially cancel the contract and get your earnest money back. Keep in mind that if it's because you didn't have the down payment, that's not a reason that you can cancel the contract. It truly has to be if you didn't qualify for the financing. The fourth one, and this is one that is commonly misunderstood or a lot of agents don't know about, it's the CC&Rs. So the CC&Rs stand for Covenants, Conditions, and Restrictions. And this is sent by the management company and through the title company, so it's not through the agent, so we don't always know when you receive them. But once you receive them, you have 5 days to review those conditions, those CC&Rs, and if there's something in them that you don't agree with, then you could cancel the contract and get your earnest money back. And just for an example here, I had one where the seller, I was actually representing the seller. We were past inspections, we were past appraisals. Then the buyer got the CC&Rs and found out that they were not allowed to park their car in the driveway at all overnight. And this buyer said, we always have a car in the driveway. They were able to cancel the contract and get their earnest money back because of that contingency. So it's really imperative that you document the day you get those CC&Rs and you fully review them. So if you want a camel in your backyard or if you want to build a guest casita, make sure you're looking at those to see if you can do them. And if for some reason you can't, then you do have that right to cancel. So the last contingency I'm going to talk about is not common, and it's only going to be under specific circumstances. But when you're buying a property, you're buying a property in the state and the condition that it is today. So say before close of escrow there was a storm and it blew over a tree, or it hurt the roof, or maybe they took something out they weren't supposed to take. Maybe they removed a fixture they weren't supposed to take. If the property is not in the same condition as it was at the time you made the offer, if something changed, then you actually could exercise your right to cancel the contract and get your earnest money back because of whatever event happened during the course of the escrow. those are the main contingencies of the contract to protect your earnest money. But keep in mind that if you're countering, or the seller is countering you and they're taking out your financing contingency, or they're taking out your appraisal contingency, or they're shortening your inspection period, if they alter the contract in any way, those are going to affect your contingencies. So even though they're in the contract, anything that they counter on is going to supersede those. So a good real estate agent is going to be able to advise you anytime you're getting a counter if the seller is trying to take one of your contingencies away. Sometimes it makes sense if you really want the property, but there's other things you can add to that counter to still safeguard you so you have some protection. It is absolutely imperative you have a strong negotiator, a strong, experienced agent that cares about you and your strategy. So if you're looking to buy, please reach out to us. I'd be honored, even if it's just a conversation. And in the meantime, if you would please, please, please like, comment, subscribe. I really, really appreciate it. I promise to deliver more and more value, and I'll catch you on the next one.